You're watching the Chaos Protocol on Transplanar RPG, an all-transgender, people of color-led dark fantasy TTRPG show set in an original non-colonial, anti-Orientalist multiverse. If you like what you see, please consider pledging to our Patreon to support the show and get access to a patron-only after-show, early podcast episodes, GM notes, character sheets, and even the chance for your tabletop OC to cameo in our series. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy. The Chaos Protocol is a dark fantasy series that may contain content that is triggering for some viewers. Content warnings for this episode include fantasy violence, blood, guns as weaponry, swarms, youth in dangerous situations, complex relationships, environmental collapse, climate disaster, and references to the death of loved ones and classism. Arc 4, Episode 24. The Journey Bound. From Waiting for the Moon to Burn, by Connie Chang. Seir, Xainan, and you. Astride Nose Mama, the three of you watch as the cloud of creatures that swarmed, dive-bombed, and swooped at you now in a massive neon murmuration rises high, up into the air and swirls like living clouds back in the direction of the scouting party, not to dive bomb the other half of your group, but to join their queen, who now rises from the dust, beating off the powder from her wings splayed wide enough to blot out the suns in the sky. A massive, beautiful creature, every single one of her over 24 stars now pulsating bright crimson red down at these threats to her hive, in a threat display of her own. And the three of you here, breathlessly, on Nose Mama's back, Saral say, equal parts fear and awe. There's the queen! I can't believe it! The glasswing butterfly. Queen! I never thought I'd see one in person even before the dust came. She's beautiful. Did you all know that she's the only member of the hive capable of reproduction? Everyone else is a drone. They exist to serve her, to protect her, to, of course, mate with her when the occasion calls for it, but they're not creatures of the dust. They're not even creatures of volcanic ash, even though that's where their eggs are incubated. They spend their entire adult lives in the sky. This is their home. This is where they're supposed to be. I just wish we weren't in their nest and they weren't trying to kill us. And now we pan down to Xainan and Seir as your group continues to gallop toward the scouting party, now menaced by a new threat. What do the two of you do?
Xainan is just covered in blood and just actively trying to pry one of these razor kites off of his shoulder. So you're saying that only she's the one we need to protect?
Yes, but I don't know if we could take her down, to be quite honest.
As Saral's voice drops into an uncharacteristic low register as she considers the weight of what you're asking, and Xainan, as you're trying to pry the razor kites / glasswing butterfly, seems to be another name for these creatures, off of your body, you notice that they let go with very little resistance. It's like you're trying to touch a plastic bag / the back of a jellyfish. It's kind of wiggly membrane, and as soon as you make contact, it kind of releases from your body, and you notice what it was using to drink your blood. It wasn't just absorbing it through osmosis or ripping into you with tiny little barbed teeth. You see retracting from the central star a little proboscis, like a little butterfly proboscis that had kind of just been slurping up the blood, and it releases you as though to say, oops, sorry about that, and kind of drifts away.
Ugh. Well, then, I don't feel too bad about taking a few down, but we gotta get out of here. And I got an idea. And Xainan's been thinking a lot about being down in the loam in front of the great Jianmu tree in the wild sea with Lumièra. He's been thinking about it a lot today, actually. Thinking about the look on her face when they together unmade the Baron. And to that end, Xainan Esch knows that he has some black powder on him today. Because he has bullets. And so, Xainan would very quickly like to create a small explosion to dissuade them from getting any closer to Nose Mama.
Okay. Okay. You would like to make a loud noise?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Listen,
Wonderful.
Azalise is shooting a shotgun.
That's true.
I'm not the problem.
That's true. And they're definitely mobbing Azalise. Yes. Okay. So, where would you say, what part of yourself are you drawing on to make this explosion? Is it your wit, your charm, your grit, or your survival instincts?
Oh, this is survival all day. This is... Xainan knows how to load bullets. He knows how to empty bullets. And what he wants to do is make a small, just like quick rip of a few bullets, fill a sachet, and throw it so that it explodes
up
over
and
there.
just have explode.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, I see what you mean. Okay, so you don't have situational advantage, and I don't think you're getting assistance from another character, but you are harnessing a relevant tool or power. So that's going to be 2d20. We're trying to beat your survival, which is a 12, and also you now have an adrenaline die. Because you lost a hit point, you gain an adrenaline die. This die expires at the end of combat, and for most people, it is a d20. But Xainan Esch, it was a d12 for you when you first got to Keseki. Because, well, as we all know now, you were dead. Now it has dropped to a d10 in the wake of taking that point-blank shotgun blast to the heart. If you were to die again, Xainan Esch, well, we'll cross that bridge if we get there. So would you like to use your adrenaline die as well? Or just try it if the two rolls fail first?
Yeah, I will use that, I'll use that, you said I can add it after?
You can add, yeah, why not? Yeah, I think it's more strategic if you're able to do that, yes.
Okay, then I will hold it in my hand and not think about the big looming hole in the sky and where Xainan Esch goes if this goes poorly.
That's right.
Oh, good. Okay, we're fine. That's 2 under my survival, so.
That is a success. What does it look like as you explode this thing?
He very quickly, after ushering off, I guess, the razor kites that did attach, he opens the bolt of his gun, pulls the bullet out, and quickly, just like with one quick, pulls the bullet off, and empties it and throws it into the air, and I think shoots it the same way that he's been blowing up black powder since forever, honestly.
It is an impressive feat of marksmanship, what you do, very fluidly and competently and expertly. The powder goes up, and it explodes. Because you succeed with such aplomb, how high up in the air do you explode it?
The intention was for it to be a good, 20 feet up.
Okay, easily done. 20 feet up and poof, an explosion of black powder. And you see as the hive, most of it had kind of left where it had been mobbing your group, swarmed off and was joining the queen now. You see this entire huge cloudscape of razor kites, of glasswing butterflies turn as a unit ponderously in the direction of that explosion.
Cool. That, I hope they keep looking further that way, and he's gonna actually try and move Nose Mama away from the explosion.
Away from where the explosion happened. Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Yeah. As Nose Mama starts to turn in the direction of your, I guess your movements of where you're gesturing her, and you see the cloud of glasswing butterflies start to float in the direction of where the explosion had gone off, up in the air, perfectly within their line of sight. You hear Saral go, "Oh! I was going to say, they're very attracted by commotion, based on everything I know. Sights, sounds, smells, anything."
What about a giant Nose Mama?
Maybe,
But the bigger, the better, and right now that explosion is the biggest thing so far. It's good if it draws them away.
And now
Keep
we
doing
pan
it.
down to Seir.
Seeing that explosion go off, Seir kind of just like clumsily exhales, Xainan? Watching that happen, and then watches Xainan swerve away, and then like nods, okay, and realizes that he cannot do this alone. Seir he's just one man, and he grips tighter onto the moon spade and realizes it's time. He is afraid and he's scared for his mentee, but he must. And he turns around, he looks at Bug, and he goes, "You got that? You ready?"
I think so. That's for me? That's what you've been making?
It's for you. And he tosses it over to Bug, and he goes, "Care for it. It's an extension of yourself. It is your everything as a warrior, as a hunter, the protector. You will grow into it."
It's heavy. I don't know if I'm strong enough to use it yet.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. If you weren't, I wouldn't have made it for you. If you weren't, I wouldn't be entrusting it to you.
And Bug
You're gonna have to
looks at
watch me
you
now.
with such wide eyes. There is an insecurity in that gaze, such a desperate, plain, naked desire to make you proud, and also the naked fear that it will let you down. But they see the trust in your eyes. They hear the security and the confidence in your voice of its success. And you see the fear melt away. And they smile, they grip the haft of the monk spade tightly, and despite how heavy it is against its slender frame, they spin it in a pretty good intimation of a move you did as they continue to run alongside you with a big smile.
Okay, I'll do my best.
All right, use it. Create space. And what I will actually do in this round of combat is I'm going to use my ability Strategic Intelligence. When you investigate a threat or the possibility of one, make a grit check. For each success, you can ask the GM one and receive an honest answer. That is what I would like to do. And
Okay.
yeah.
I would
Can
say
I use anything?
Yes, situational advantage, I will give it to you because you have information from Saral, actually, about the biology and behavior of these creatures.
Thanks, Saral.
Situational advantage. That's right. Assistance from another character, I'll also give that to you because Xainan caused a distraction that is drawing them away from the direction you're headed in. And are you
Okay.
harnessing a relevant tool or power? I don't think you are.
Fuck. I don't think I am. This is not
That's
the time.
3d20 total. That's still
All
quite
right.
a lot of dice. You're trying
It's
to
a lot of
beat
dice.
a 10, I think. Yeah.
Beat the 10. Okay, that's 2 successes, 1 failure.
Okay, so
there's
for
a 7
each success,
and a 5.
that's great. You can ask 2 questions and receive an honest answer. So your questions are, what's the biggest danger here? What's my best way in, out, or through? And who or what is the most vulnerable to me?
What is my best way in, out, or through? I know what the biggest danger is here. And who or what is vulnerable to me?
Vulnerable to you. Nothing. This swarm cannot be defeated by you. That is the answer. You, on Nose Mama's back, know that with your combined firepower in this instance, you can't kill the swarm. The queen is too big. Unless a miracle happens, or you push yourself to your absolute limit and pull out a power within you that you have not yet displayed up until this point, you cannot defeat this queen, and you cannot defeat her swarm. You could possibly take out a good chunk of the swarm, but it would be a Pyrrhic victory at best. Otherwise, what is vulnerable to your influence, rather what is susceptible to you, what you can change and shape, are the decisions that you and the rest of your team make now in this instance to respond to this threat on your doorstep. Speaking of which, what is your best way in, out, or through? I will answer that in two ways. The first is this. You hear a noise in the distance that isn't the fluttering wings of the glasswing butterflies. It isn't the explosion that Xainan has just caused or the shotgun blasts coming from Azali's raid. It is a noise that sounds like the creaking and groaning of wood and the rattling of very many chains. And you see about a mile or so off the front gates of the aldebrn estate, of the garden. Is it just a trick of the light, or do they look like they're moving open? That pings for you your best way in, out, or through this threat. And now at this point, as you're taking all of this in, your groups rejoin each other. Nose Mama catches up to where the liminal is, and as we pan into the liminal, Lumièra, at this point, everything outside of the liminal has been moving in very slow motion, including the rising of the queen. But through it all, even as Zinnia is slashing and destroying the creatures inside this bubble all around you, as Begoun is tackling Libra out of harm's way as one of them swoops toward them, as Azali's raid scowls and lowers their shotgun, even them knowing better than to fire a blast in a closed room, you feel the eyes of oblivion on your back, on the nape of your neck, pressing down on you as though the palm of the Buddha, forcing yourself into an early grave. How long are you able to sustain the liminal before the pressure is too much?
Lumièra sustains the liminal for quite a bit. This is second nature to her now. She's crafted enough to where she's pretty well adept and can kind of do this in her sleep. I think this is the largest amount of people at once that she's held in a liminal, which does kind of strain her a bit. But I think what actually starts to weaken and drop the liminal is a specific glasswing butterfly that I think almost got too close to Zinnia's face. Like it was almost like a face hugger to an extent. And I think she swishes, like she's holding with her left hand the liminal, and her eyes dart over to Zinnia, and I think Lumièra, much like the Baron in season 1, flicks her hand, and Zinnia, you see that butterfly, that plastic bag, deflate and fall to the ground into dust, as if right in front of your eyes it aged like 400 years and turned to dust right in front of you. And then that's when the liminal itself warbles, when she splits her attention.
Focus.
Yeah.
As soon as you channel your focus into trying to protect Zinnia, the bubble like wavers and then pops. Essentially, the clockwork gears just vanish out of sight. It's gone, and you can still feel it though. You feel the eyes of oblivion on you, and even though that black hole is barely larger than it was a mere moment ago, you know she has gotten closer because of you, because of your magic. Zinnia, as Lumièra drops the bubble, and you see Nose Mama coming closer and closer with the rest of your team on her back or astride her, what do you do?
Make sure the entire team is converged together.
Come on.
I think without question, yes. Immediately grabs. How's Lumièra doing? Is like Lumièra okay physically after that?
She looks a little winded, but that's about it.
Okay. I think like gives you covers you long enough to let you catch your breath, and orders everyone else.
Thank
Get
you.
to nose, Mama. All of
Her-
you.
Ugh, fine. Libra reluctantly lowers their rifle as they hoof it over to Nose Mama, and Azalis Raid had lifted their shotgun again and pointed it directly in the direction of the queen, as the rest of the swarm is now passing overhead to investigate the place where Xainan's miniature smoke bomb essentially had exploded. And you notice Ozzel's trigger finger start to tighten over the trigger of that shotgun. Do you stop them?
Ozlis, it's pointless.
They lower the gun and they run toward Nose Mama, because as much as they want to fight this thing that has surged in front of them, they have a different and more important and urgent objective that is not this glasswing butterfly. That is the only reason why they lower the gun, and you both know it. Their duster flutters behind them as they book it toward Nose Mama as well, not to hop on her back, but to rejoin the rest of the tiers so you can all run together. And it is Bagoon who shouts as he's also hoofing it to rejoin everyone else. Where should we go?
The gates! The gates are open to the estate! The only
What?
shot.
That's right! They're opening! They're opening! And Bug points with the monk spade, gesturing forward, and sure enough, as all of you direct your attention toward the gates, you all hear, ringing out over the basin, a familiar voice, amplified by a speakerphone. You can hear the crackling of it, the kind of technological, mechanical warbling of the voice. Hey, assholes! Over here! And you see that at this point, the gates are fully open. And there's someone at the threshold waving her arm, gesturing for your group to hoof it over. Stovall.
Stovall.
Let's go.
All right, let's go.
Okay, you fucking hoof it, you book it toward the gate. You're running as fast as you can if you're on your feet. Nose Mama is moseying it the fuck along, very motivated, just a living train. And those of you who are on foot, you can feel lactic acid starting to build up. You can feel the dust pouring into your lungs with each haggard, rough breath. Above your heads, you sense the shadows. Translucent, wavering, wobbling, liquidinous shadows of this swarm and their queen, now floating in the direction of where the Xainan smoke bomb has long since dissipated. And now, as a single unit, these living kites turn around in the sky and they begin to dive and soar, bob and float in an almost a gentle manner, but you know what they are capable of, toward your party as you book it toward the gates. You're about a half a mile out from the gates when you see vehicles leaving the gate entrance. There's a roaring, and 1, 2, 3, 4, half a dozen, maybe 10 or more outriders roar out into the basin in various directions. You see chrome-plated dirt bikes. You see neon cruisers with rusted wheels. You see floating mopeds covered in scavenged chitin, and riders on their backs, 1 or 2 or even 3 per vehicle, are waving in the sky, sputtering flares, huge bright emergency flares of different colors. Others are wearing jangling bells. Still others are banging on pots and pans, shouting. Others are blowing whistles. In all directions, they spread out. And you see above your heads the swarm dissipate. They kind of in all different directions, each member of the hive chasing a different outrider. The queen herself, however, continues to float directly in the direction of the main gate, about a quarter mile behind you and gaining. And now I pan to each of you for the final action you take as you race toward the gates, the queen hot on your tail. Who would like to go first?
I'm down.
Go for it, Zinnia.
I think Zinnia and Libra together are 2 of the fastest runners when it comes to the tiers. And I think they share a look. Zinnia does a simple whistle, and they run faster. they get enough headwind to actually get one shot off. And I think Zinnia slides to her knees, and she lets Libra use her shoulder as a mount for their rifle.
Yep. Despite whatever tensions had been bubbling between the two of you ever since that ill-timed argument in your tent, despite whatever frostiness Libra has been treating you with in the past few days, in moments of conflict, in moments of genuine danger and threat and violence, the two of you work together like a well-oiled machine, as though there is no friction between the two of you at all. You didn't even have to whistle. They would have known it by heart. As you drop to a knee, as soon as your knee touches the ground, the rifle is there. And you know instinctively exactly how to time you holding your breath so you don't throw off their aim. So I'm going to have Libra roll. They have situational advantage. Yeah, they do, because there's distractions all around. They have assistance from you. They're harnessing a relevant tool or power. That is 4d20. That was a nat 1. That was another nat 1! That was a nat 2! That was a nat 18. This is Sing's die. This is
Let's go, baby girl die! Baby girl die!
Let's go!
That's my sister.
Let's go,
That's my
baby
sister. I love you.
As
I
you
miss you.
exhale, Zinnia, you just hear Libra's voice muttering in your ear. Just gotta slow them down. And then the bullet, we follow it as a through the air. It rips through 1, 2, 3, a dozen different glass wings and then hits right in the center of one of the glowing neon gases of the Queen. Now, gas is not corporeal, so it is an odd question if it can be killed by a bullet, but it certainly was wounded by Libra's bullet. There's a hole, a tiny bullet-sized hole inside the Queen. She's not dead. It is a question of if she's injured, but her trajectory does change slightly. Like there being a tiny hole in the wing of an airplane made of glass, and she just slightly starts to drift off to the side, even as the rest of her neon stars continue to glow bright crimson. And you can see the tendrils, the tentacle-like tendrils, and her kite-like wings like fluttering a little to try to course correct, but it does throw her trajectory off enough to buy you additional time, which is all you need. And now we pan over to the rest of Nova.
Well, I know what I'm doing. Seir sees Zinnia take charge in this moment of buying time for everyone. And it's not just buying time by engaging with the big giant monster that's in our direction. Also about ensuring that everyone who is here gets the smoothest path forward rather than slowing things behind us. And I think Seir unsheaths patience, looks over to Bug and says, "Follow me!" And what Seir is going to try and do is to coach Bug to join him, and to basically make a pincer movement to cut a path open for the rest of the tier, so we can get to the gate faster before the Queen descends upon us.
Perfect. Okay, so that is either grit or survival. I'll let you pick.
I'll take survival.
Okay, you do have situational advantage. You're getting assistance from Bug, and you are harnessing, I assume, patience?
I am harnessing patience, indeed.
That is 4d20. You did not lose or take out a hit point, so you don't have adrenaline dice in this instance, but that's still a lot of dice.
Nice. Don't like that. Okay, that's better. 2 successes, 2 bad failures.
Okay, well that's all you need. 2 successes, more than enough. What does it look like as you help model good behavior and movement and form for Bug, forming a pincer movement to clear the path, both of solid obstacles like dust that might have floated in the way, and also of the creatures that might have peeled off from the main swarm to kind of dive at your heads?
I think this is literally this feels reminiscent of the past. Seir has always been half of a whole. Seir has always had someone watch his back, run alongside him, astride him, someone to pincer with. And this feels like it, except instead of it being natural, instead of it being communicated but a glance, Seir's coaching, Seir's teaching Bug how to be Sing. Just strange. And Seir, as he's like running ahead, it's facing Bug. He goes, in front of you, in front of you. It is an extension of you. You're not hiding behind it. Come, come, come. Watch your feet. Watch your feet.
Okay! And though their movements are clumsy to start, they are a quick study. And even though the monk's spade is a little too heavy for them right now, it does look natural in their hands as they maneuver it and hold it. And every single instruction you make, their movements get that much more fluid. They are learning by the second, by the moment, not even by the minute. The improvement is instant. They respond.
Yes. Yes, Cricket. Yes. Yes. Are you seeing this? Yes. Keep going.
Yeah! I'm kicking ass! And you see them like swing the kind of pincer-shaped side of it up and like buff it enough air to send one of the glasswing butterflies whee, careening off to the side like a kite caught in a gale.
Yes.
And with that, you and Bug are able to more eloquently clear a way forward for Nova and the rest of the tiers. At this point, you run past where Libra has just fired off the bullet astride Zinnia's shoulder. And now we pan over to Xainan and Lumièra.
Xainan was sitting on the back of Nose Mama. He had scrambled over the top to watch the flank, rifle up, in case any of our glasswing butterfly drones got closer. But seeing now they're distracted, he focuses in on the queen and he sees Libra's shot go in and one of those lights go out and his heart sinks into a hole in a cave. And he wants to pull the trigger and he hears his Ema's voice in his head. This is a shield. And he knows what he wants to protect with that shield. And it has to be this glasswing butterfly. Unfortunately, even if it's large enough to kill all of us, he cannot kill this creature. And so instead, he listens to something else. Something old, but not that old. The bells. The training hall alarm at Trans, the sound of chimes at a temple, at a shrine. And he calls upon these sounds and he thinks about hearing the bell from Haruna City, even far out in the fields. And though he cannot make a bell large enough, he wishes that sound to be here to call this giant queen home, to his home. And I would like to try and do something pretty wild. I would like to summon the sound of the city bell of Haruna City at a distance away from us.
And call the queen away. Okay. What skill would this be for you? Survival? Charm.
Yes. Charm? Survival?
You know, I think it's charm.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, it feels like charm. So, situational advantage, I would say, though she is distracted and the swarm's attention is split, not in this situation because you're trying to get all of their attention with an extra big noise, aside from all of the rest. So not situational advantage, and not assistance, but you are harnessing a relevant power in this instance. That is 2d20, and we're trying to beat a 10.
And now I anticipate needing my adrenaline die. I'm just going to hold on to that in my hand.
Yes, it's a 10 or below, yeah.
Okay. I got one success. I think this... I'm just for good measure, because I want to get 2. I'm going to roll that adrenaline die, because I can get... Yeah. 2 successes.
You got... Okay, 2 successes. All right. What does it sound like? How loud do you want it to be? And in what direction does the bell of Haruna Valley ring out in?
Well, it obviously rings out to the south, because that's the direction that Haruna Valley is. And it's this deep, resonant sound that has been down in Haruna City to just chime in the twilight, sunrise. It's the thing that has marked time in his entire life, and it's what made the sounds at Tran sound so familiar. And it is loud, but he's never done this before, and it's like a ghost listening to the sound of a bell. And that story that he was told over and over again, that spirits and bells go together, they're clarifying. And so he searches for that resonant tone and listens for it more than projects it. He listens for the tone of the bell from home, and it echoes, I think, only a dimmer version of what it would normally sound like in the Lodestar, which is already quite far away from Haruna City, if I'm honest. But there's a boom.
Yes, it is funny because it's not an actual bell that you're conjuring. It is the memory of one. It is the echo of one. It is the ghost of a bell that you draw on from your own mind. So it is not only filtered by the literal distance between your memory of the Lodestar setting and where the bell existed in real life, but also the psychic distance between you here in the present and you in the past. So the noise rings out, but it sounds muffled, far away, not just by distance, but by time. There is a quality to it that feels spectral, and yet it reverberates. And because this basin is so wide and flat and there's so much atmosphere, it does ring out. It vibrates because that's what sound is. It's vibration. It vibrates through the air and due south from the direction whence you came. And it, for an instant, takes over all other sounds. It doesn't cut over them, but it kind of cuts under them as a low bass-like resonance. And we see the queen, which had been your target for distraction. She wavers in the air. There's no way to stop in midair, but she does swoop in a low and small and tight semicircle, like a floating manta ray, and she doesn't have a head, but all of those 24 and more stars seem to be pointed in the direction of that noise as she circles in the air like a vulture, not going north and also not going south, but simply making a circle as though taking in the resonance, taking in her surroundings, debating what next to do.
That's it,
This
big girl.
This has bought you and your party more time. And speaking of buying time, Lumièra.
Yeah, Connie. What's up?
What would you like to do? How would you like to contribute to Strike Team Nova and the Tears of Fuyumi's escape?
I'd like to go to bed, if that's all honest. That's where I'm at right now.
What, you want to hang out with our new friend? Our new friend?
I would actually like to hang up and go to sleep, but I can't do that. So,
Sleep and dream of her.
Shut up. Okay, serious. I'm a professional. Okay, so Big Mama is floating around at the time,
she's
just
circling.
Shoot. I have an idea.
Shoot.
And it might be kind of wretched.
Do it. I want you to. I want you to do it.
Please
I
be Richard.
encourage you. I enable you.
So here's the thing.
Yes.
Oblivion's been coming closer every time Lumièra has been using her time magic. However, she's been using it a little recklessly. She'd like to focus in. What I would like to do, Connie, I want to recreate Xainan's explosion earlier.
Oh. Like have it play again?
Have it play again. vault
Okay.
that explosion back in time to replay it one more time. That's what I want to do.
Okay, you're okay.
Not
You are
me myself vault, but the explosion itself. I would like to rewind it and play it back.
Okay, you have never done this before.
No, I have not.
You have not vaulted since the worst mistake of Seir's life.
No, I have
And
not.
you had vaulted yourself several times. And each time, Oblivion had grown larger significantly more than when he had simply used a liminal.
But that was because that was the first time. I know better now.
Okay. So, Lumièra, when you try to use time magic that requires you to push yourself, your chronology die changes size. We're not just using a d20. You're pushing yourself. We had these fun rules for your chronology in the side here that I would love to use. When you push yourself with your chronology in combat, you first roll a d6 to determine the die size of your weapon. So before we do anything, just roll me a d6 and just tell me the result.
6. So it's a d6.
Okay, yes, that is a, yep. That means it's a d6. You're rolling a d6 for this. Okay. But something odd is always going to happen no matter what the outcome is, because
Correct.
you're pushing yourself even if you succeed. So you do not have situational advantage. You are not getting assistance from another character. You are harnessing a relevant power. So that is going to be 2d6, and you're trying to beat your wit, which is a 12. So there's really no way for you to fail.
No.
But we can roll it anyway to see how low it is.
So I didn't grab another one of my metal dice, so I'm going to use my Lumi D6 from Die Hard.
Oh, perfect. We love you, Die Hard.
We love you, Die Hard. Thank you. They're so pretty. All right. How's a 1 and a 3 work for you there, Connie?
Okay, that is 2 successes. What does it look like as from this distance you attempt to vault a noise, an event that you did not originate yourself?
It's a bit difficult. I'm not gonna lie there. Lumièra has an idea and she is nothing but hubristic. So while she is running towards where she's supposed to be, she does start to run a little slower. She starts to center herself. She takes a deep breath, remembering the lessons from her compadre or companion during that nifty little trip. And she remembers the sound it made, how it came rippling across the expanse of this desert. She remembers the rocks rumbling under her feet where she was standing in her physical presence. And she pushes out further, trying to revisualize and remember this explosion. And I think it almost comes off of her in waves, almost like when you're looking out at concrete in the middle of summer when it's hot and it's those like heat reverberating waves. That's what's emanating off of her, that flushes through the desert itself, and you see the cloud where it dissipated at almost reform back together and grow smaller before it lets right back off again in the exact same detonation sequence.
Yes. The ripple
nose,
occurs. the reverberation occurs. There is a tightening of not just space back where the explosion happened, but also of time. And then, like a magician's scarf being pulled through the eye of a needle, the explosion reappears in midair. But it plays backwards. So it's like an implosion instead of back in. But the noise is just as loud. And there's a shaking, a vibration that sweeps over this basin, kicking up dust in a big gust. And the swarms that have been following the Outriders kind of waver, like balloons bobbing on top of an ocean wave. And we see those on Outriders waver on their motorcycles as well as this errant gust of wind comes out. A few of them almost lose their footing and skid out, but they're able to grab themselves and right themselves back on their motorcycle. And this loud explosion that plays again causes the circling queen to slowly descend in its direction. And much of the rest of the swarm lifts up and starts to follow her, giving everyone a much needed opening to book it all toward the gate, with the rest of the swarm now no longer nipping at your heels, but a good amount of distance away. But then there is, of course, a consequence. You still feel it, Lumièra, the eyes on the back of your neck. But in this moment, there is no time to take all of it in. You have to get to safety. You have to take advantage of the opening you just created. The extent of the consequence will become apparent to you later. As all of you rush toward the gate, we see now the Outriders coming from within the garden, also like making a wide turn, basically U-turning their way in, so they're right on your heels. And now Nose Mama is the first one through through these huge, tall wooden gates that are busted wide open. Seir running alongside, Zinnia, Libra also leading the charge. Everyone on Nose Mama's back, Yinghe as well. And then a few beats later, the Outriders also one in after the other. And on either side of the gate, we see these large iron chains, also supported by what appear to be neon tassels of some kind, and at least two people on each chain, like pulling on it as the gates start to swing shut. But it takes a while to open and also close these massive, huge main gates. And all of you can see, as soon as you pile through and have a moment to stop, catch your breath, and look back out the way you came, you see the circling queen of the glasswing butterflies slowly still rotating in the place where the vaulted explosion had occurred. And then, realizing it's no longer playing, she turns around and starts speeding her way toward the gate as the gates begin to close. A short narrowing, foot by foot by foot by foot, but she's picking up steam, and by God, she has a tailwind, a gust of breeze at her back, blowing these creatures in your due direction. And Stova is shouting something very loudly, very hurriedly over the speakerphone. And right before the razor wings, right before the glasswing butterflies, the razor kites smash in and filter in through the gap. It closes. They barely swing shut. And that is when the swarm soars up, above the gates. Above the towering stone walls of this safe haven, and they start to dive. For no wall of any height can truly stop a creature that rules the skies. But as soon as the hive swoops down toward the garden, they scatter. In all directions, individual glasswing butterflies spill off to the sides, and even the queen herself, this massive, mighty creature of impossible size, wavers in the air above the gate as though hugging something, hugging an invisible barrier. No, not as though hugging an invisible barrier. There is a barrier, and it's far from invisible. Because as the razor kites lazily circle the skies above your heads, you now see ripples undulating across an energy dome that protects the airspace above the garden. You can hear it too, a humming noise, a protective electrical current. And for a few beats, the queen hovers there, like a magnificent floating jellyfish, surveying her kingdom. And then, rapidly losing interest now that this prey is clearly out of sight, she turns and begins to gently float back out toward the basin, trailed by the dozens and hundreds of other glasswing butterflies that surround her. And as the sky clears from this swarm, Lumièra, you see it. The black hole in the sky. It had been the size of a dinner plate all this time before. Soon after you tried to correct Seir's mistake, it had widened to the size of a dinner plate, and now it is the size of a beach ball. But that's not all. It's very, very, very slow, barely perceptible, but you know it, you feel it deep in your bones, for you are the one that is causing it, that has caused it. Like someone pushing a marble down a path, and now the marble is rolling. It's getting bigger. Moment by moment, it is widening. No longer just growing with each impulse, but now just growing. The immediate danger subsides. And now all of you finally have the space and a little bit of wherewithal to take in your surroundings, to take in the interior of the garden. Beyond this main gate, you see the vast and sprawling grounds of the aldebrn estate. No, of what used to be the aldebrn estate. The bones of Buta's palatial residence are still here, just as Saral had excitedly described them many times during your long sojourn. You see luxurious pavilions with cedar roofs and shoji screens. You see stairways hewn from polished stone, covered walkways that twist and wind, maze-like complexes of elevated hills, the tallest of which, due north, houses that main keep you had seen from the outside. But aside from these fixtures, Buta's estate is barely recognizable. You see solar panels, wind turbines on every inch of exposed roof, fresh laundry fluttering on clotheslines, even colorful murals of the verdant place that Keseki used to be, painted on what used to be drab inner walls of Buta's estate and transforming them into something that feels a lot more like home. You see new structures, too. Metal silos, satellite dishes, electrical wiring, light poles, neon decor, even brand new buildings hewn from steel and glass. There are multiple places where the vast outer wall has caved in, but they're now patched over with titanium sheets or thick paneled glass or chromatic plating. But most of all, you see the people. There are people everywhere. In front of you, lounging on the front stoop of patchwork pavilions, walking along walkways reinforced with steel beams, heating up rations over cooking pits built into the shallow basins of dried-up ponds. In one courtyard, you see elderly survivors kneeling in front of game boards, playing chess, or shogi, or mahjong with each other while shooting the breeze. And in another courtyard, you see a middle-aged survivor sitting on a boulder, reading a colorful book out loud to a group of enraptured children. Yes, there are elders here and children, too. Families, entire families of survivors, all watching each other's kids, taking care of each other's grandparents, pitching in whenever and wherever they can. There must be dozens of people here, maybe even hundreds, given the scope of this place, how well built it is, how well lived in. The air inside these gates is different, too. It's warm? Smooth? No, it's clean. Well, cleaner, as clean as it can get in the apocalypse. You hadn't realized how painful the simple act of breathing had been for weeks and weeks for some of you, months for others, years for others, until it no longer hurts to draw air through your lungs. How do each of you take in your surroundings as the gates shut behind you? And what detail is the one that most catches your eye? Let's start with Zinnia.
I think Zinnia notices breathing. Zinnia spent 5 years alone on Kaseki. They know better than most how hard it gets to breathe and how used to it you can be. And I think as they're, especially after running that much, their breath starts just shallow and gets deeper and deeper, and they realize they can actually take a deep, deep breath and not feel like they're choking on something. And I think they look at that and feel, in some ways, almost home. Being able to breathe takes them back to the Syndicate. It takes them far away from here just for a moment. And then I think looking around, seeing everyone else, snaps right back to it. She still has a job to do.
We pan over to Nova. Seir, how are you taking this in, and what is the one detail you're hitching on?
In great wonder. Just the same wonder when he saw the Raya for the first time. When he first beheld the city of heaven. When he was on the skyline in Inferno and saw the glittering streets beneath him. Wonder. There's people. The air is clean. There's children. I think the detail he latches onto is perhaps a pair of siblings. Laughing, playing, a glint of mischief in their eye, and Seir feels a bright voice somewhere behind his ear, bright and cheerful, giggling. Seir, this place is beautiful. That's what she would have said. Or, Seir, are you seeing this? Skipping ahead, smiling at Nova, greeting people. And that's all Seir can see here in this moment. They see her sing. And that's the thing he latches onto, is how much she would have loved this place and how that wonder would have just permeated in this warmth after weeks of desperation.
And now we pan over to you, Lumièra.
I think after the complete days of whatever the hell that blocked that queen from being in all of her children, from being able to descend on this place, I think Lumièra takes a long look. And I think the thing that sticks the most with her is the community. Everyone together, sharing resources, looking out for each other. It pulls on threads that are just now starting to form, even just by little bits and pieces of her memories of home, the bits and pieces that she has remembered or has gotten in dreams, and in the grove with Artemis. It reminds her of Tungal. And I think that's what that's what lands the heaviest with her. So she's shell-shocked in a way that's very different for Lumièra when she experiences or is introduced to a new place. It's almost too familiar.
And what about you, Xainan?
Xainan can still feel the bass note of that bell in his chest. And now he's home. This is a Kasekian city of people, families. It almost overwhelms him to feel just that brief moment of walking through the marketplace in Haruna City. People just sitting together, and he tries not, but he can't help it. His eyes linger on a little Kasekian girl, and his heart falls into the floor for a moment, but it galvanizes something in him that he had almost lost sight of because of that conversation that wasn't really a conversation with Ozalise. But this isn't just about a future for Ozalise. The thing he always wanted for Doxa was a tomorrow. And these people, this Kaseki can have a tomorrow. They're still here.
As all of you take a moment to take in your surroundings and resonate deep within your bones, within your own souls, with different pieces of the garden. Stovall. The speakerphone she hands off to someone else. There's a roaring of engines as the outriders kind of slowly and lowly, carefully gutter off toward wherever they're housed in this complex. Stovall approaches you all. She doesn't look hostile, but she is wary, guarded. And at this point, all of these new arrivals, these dozen and more of you, are getting quite a lot of curious looks from the locals. The nearby kids who are listening to a story or some sort of lesson, they immediately turn away from their teacher, completely ignore them, and look in your direction with big wide eyes. And even the elders, most of them just look up, and go back to their game. But a few of them kind of step away from their game boards, leaning on canes or talking to each other. None of them look hostile either. There's mostly just curiosity. But Stovall is the one who quickly holds out an arm as though gesturing for the rest of the garden to keep away for now, as she assesses whatever the heck is going on here. And Stovall approaches your group as a whole, and then sees Seir, and strides up to you specifically, directly, as well as Yinghe.
Hey.
You, the two of you, what are you doing with them now? And she gestures specifically to the tears.
It's Seir has never been thrust really into the face of Nova. This is a position that he has never really been in. He's like brought out of the reverie of thinking about Sing and is reminded that he is just Seir, and looks over to Yinghe, to Nova, to everyone else, and just goes, we got in trouble. And yeah, thanks for out there. We appreciate it.
One sec, my Bluetooth is cutting out. I'm gonna have to just restart it. It'll take like 2 seconds.
We become friends with everybody. We win. We win.
Saved. Oblivion is no longer a problem.
Yeah,
we're gonna end the arc
actually,
right here, you guys.
We're cool now.
Yeah.
We're cool now with Oblivion.
We're all
Everything's
cool
fine.
now. Yeah, Oblivion's
I'm
gonna
back.
head home.
They can hear us.
What
They
did
can hear
you
us.
say? Oh, you figured things out with Oblivion? Is that what happened while
Yeah,
my
yeah.
Bluetooth
No.
cut out?
No, not at
No.
all. We sat here
No,
and
no,
waited
no, no.
patiently for you to come back.
Oh, okay.
We weren't trying to chase the narrative or anything. No.
No, not at all. We're
Of course
really
not.
no. We're the
Oracle, obliterate Nova. Okay,
No.
back to the moment. Stovall nods slowly as you say that you just ran into some trouble with the tears, and she says, well, trouble certainly seems to follow you all. What are you all doing here? Anyway, what do all of you want? And now she addresses this question not just to Seir, but to the group as a whole. And those eyes also land on you, Zinnia.
Seir looks at Zinnia with a look of, we should probably just tell them.
We're looking for Buddha Erebor.
Stovall's eyebrows shoot up, both in recognition of that name and in surprise, and there's something else to her expression as well. Buddha Erebor. All right, and what might your business with Buddha Erebor be?
Zinnia doesn't say anything, just gives a look. I think they can make an assumption.
The look is all Stovall really needs, and it is Ozalise who speaks now. Where is he? Okay, hold on. Before we get into anything, really, I think it would behoove all of us to maybe just introduce ourselves to each other.
Yeah.
You're all survivors, I assume. The two of you were two separate groups, and now you're all together looking for Buddha?
Well, sort of. We're helping out our fellow travelers here, but we're just we were looking for the garden and for Buddha Erebor, but this time maybe less gunfire for everybody. And he does shoot a look over to Libra.
Libra has not been looking at Stovall in the eye at all this entire time. In fact, you've seen them try to hide their rifle behind their back. And they're kind of every which way but Stovall. But Stovall sees Libra, and you see her face harden, the jaw sets. She's able to figure it out. And she says, well, Mac is dead. Not many people can survive a shot like that to the temple. But we appreciated your help in preserving his body. And she addresses that to Yinghe, who looks surprised at being addressed. And Yinghe says, oh, of course. I'm sorry to hear that he died. I wish I could have saved him. There's very little you could have done for that. He was already gone. But thanks to your help, we were able to bring his body back here before it, and we gave him a proper burial. That's the most we could ask for nowadays. But it does seem like none of you, at least now, are an imminent danger or threat. And she says that not as a question, but as a warning that she directs at each of you, and says, I had extended this invitation to your party, Seir and Yinghe, but if all of you are together, then I suppose the invitation extends to all of you as well. I think it's time for us to go to Samishi. She is the one that can answer all of your questions and get all of this sorted.
Right.
Okay.
Xainan watches
that sounds
Ozalise acutely.
Ozzel, this entire time, has been rapidly and intensely scanning the entire interior of this complex. It's like they're looking for someone. Their eyes land on each face, categorizing it, and then just move right past when it's not the face that they are looking for. And they scan every single person in this general vicinity. They don't seem to find what they're looking for. And when Stovall volunteers to bring you out to Samishi, that is the only time that Ozzel's gaze snaps back to Stovall. And they just say, "Lead the way." Okay, then. She'll be able to patch you all up, too.
Xainan draws a singular and clear conclusion from all of the information that he has about Samishi Erebor, Buta Erebor, and Ozzel's raid. And if Ozzel were interested in listening to a word that he had to say, like they used to, he would tell them. But he chooses to keep it to himself and walks closer to Seir. We should keep an eye on Ozzel.
It's been so long since he's spoken to Seir. Seir almost like stiffens. He hasn't heard your voice in his direction in a while. And Seir kind of like glances over to you at this typical olive branch that happens between these two men in particular. Nods. Got it.
Strike Team Nova and the Tears of Fayumi. Your two groups follow Stovall as she escorts you through this entire complex. You see various locals, some of them like follow your group and then they pause when they can't follow you anymore, looking very curiously. It is Nose Mama in particular that causes quite a stir. A lot of kids, wide eyes, people of all ages really. She's a hit. Everyone loves Nose Mama. They're all staring at this large creature. Some of them even try to like reach out and touch her, but it's Bug that barks at them like a dog and kind of bites at their hands to get them to back off a little bit. They look surprised, but then they laugh. Oh, sorry, I'm just protective of Nose Mama. And Bug's eyes in particular are glued on the other kids here. They're staring at the other kids like they're some sort of tourist attraction, like they've never seen other children before, especially people their own age. And then like the kind of like novelty seems to wear off, and then there's like a deep sort of painful yearning on Bug's face as they pass by other children of their age. There's a moment as the other kids also look at them, and then they just walk right by, as Stovall leads you all through bustling courtyards, up and over shaded walkways, and eventually you reach a hill, and you go up these winding switchbacks all the way up to what is the main location of the main keep, all the way in the very back of the complex. And up here, elevated above the rest of the Erebor estate, you get a stunning view of the entire garden. You get a view of a once palatial complex that has now been transformed from a lavish estate of isolation and luxury to a genuine safe haven of survival and community. And it is up here, on the highest peak, that Stovall leads you not to the main keep itself, the main building, but a long building a couple of dozen of yards away from it. Long building with glass walls and these tall, stately aluminum ribs. And the glass of these walls is blurred, so you can't really make out the interior in any detail at all. And as you approach the main doors of this building, they kind of open automatically. And all of you, Nose Mama included, for this building is large enough to accommodate her, you step into a private botanical garden. Or at least what used to be a private botanical garden. The bones of it are still here. You see a water fountain in the middle with no water. You see flower beds all around with no flowers and no soil. But this place isn't entirely colorless. In fact, it contains the most color any of you have ever seen since landing on Keseki. You see succulents, actual plants, cacti in clay pots, most of them more thorn than greenery, but they are alive. You also see air plants hanging from the roof eaves, their thirsty, thin leaves splayed to absorb any and every molecule of moisture they can get. But most of all, you see dust? Or is it dirt, but just particularly gray? Sitting in glass jars, sitting in clay pots, sitting in plastic bottles that have been cut open, sitting in petri dishes. In containers and containers, you see dust, occupying every other available surface, and each of these containers is meticulously labeled. And at the very back of this greenhouse, her back turned to all of you, currently laboring and working over one of these containers of dust, is Samishi Erebor. And we're gonna end the session there. Thank you all so much for tuning in so far to tonight's episode of the Chaos Protocol. What an episode it was! Oh my goodness. Let's do some much-deserved introductions, starting with our incredible guest star for the evening, Dare Hickman.
Hi, hey, hello. My name is Dare. Pronouns she, they, they, it. If you like the stuff I do, you can find me pretty much anywhere on the internet at Dare to Dream RPG. That is DARE, the number 2, DREAM RPG. And if you like the vibes of tonight's episode, for any reason in particular, then maybe you might want to check out a podcast called Sapphics at the Cinema, with me, co-hosted by my lovely partner and Transplanar alum, one Quintastic _, because we may be talking about some sort of road that might be a little furious or something like that. You'll find out on Wednesday. And I will throw it over to Val.
We love you, Quinn.
We love you, Quinn.
We do. I say
everyone.
Loudest.
Dare does say it loudest.
We know. We are aware. Sorry, something blew past my leg and that scared the crap out of me. Hello, I'm Valiant Dorian. I use he, him, his pronouns. You can find me all across the internet at Valiant Dorian or an Awesome Spirit Bear. Please enjoy that lovely treasure I just set you on. And tonight, I was just Seir, who uses he, they pronouns, and into the stuff you can keep an eye out for. Tomorrow I'm going to be on OnePlus AXP for their actual play of Stone Top, so come and check us out over at 11 a.m. Eastern over at OnePlus EXP. I play a guy. Please enjoy me playing a guy, and yeah, keep an eye on my stuff. I'm going to pass it on over to Pop Pop. How you doing over there, Pop Pop?
Oh, I'm in it. Hi everyone, I'm Kai. You can find me everywhere as Estelle of Ladris. I'm just here basking in how much love I am in with this place and the people. But overall, I'm a TTRPG performer, game designer, and you can find me doing all kinds of things like world building and storytelling all over the internet. Just check it out. I'm in your walls, kind of. I'll pass it on over to Samm. I'm in your walls.
All right.
I said it.
Oh, okay.
Come on, have lunch.
Hey, y'all. I'm Sam Star. I play Lumièra. You can catch me all across the interwebs, more specifically where the butterflies do fly blue, and they do not attach themselves and drain you of your life force with cute little butterfly suckers, while also being terrifying. Lust for Life X, that's LUSTTFORLIFEX. Take us home, boss.
It's me, boss, taking us home. You wouldn't hurt a little butterfly, would you?
Connie, I said take us home.
Butterfly.
Don't bullshit me.
She just wants to drink your blood.
I
She just
literally.
wants to drink your blood. She did nothing wrong.
Okay,
Connie,
yes,
I'm
I'll
gonna
take us home.
block you.
You're gonna block me in real life? Like a
real
Black
life.
Mirror episode? You just blur me out. Oh my goodness.
Now
Okay,
it's just
so-
bow bow. I see in your place.
Well, meow, 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 meow. So keeping in line with our more relaxed production schedule, as our dramaturg continues to heal up and is making great progress. C is making really great progress on their healing, but they're still not fully at 100% yet, so we're gonna wait until they are. Our next Chaos stream is gonna be in 2 weekends. Cheer weekends on Saturday, May 23rd at 8 p.m. US Eastern Time. I'm getting a lot of shaking heads at my attempt at a British accent. Okay. Also, the schedule. Oh, the schedule is wrong. Oh, the schedule. I apologize.
Your dates are wrong.
Yes. I love how you thought it was something so minuscule and not the major thing.
I'm like, wow, everyone's just so mad at me for trying something, for trying to be creative. Okay, so our next Chaos stream, I thought it was on Saturday, May 23rd, based on our schedule, the special. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's gonna be yet another special episode, was the next thing I had prepared and written.
Okay.
But I distracted you all. Master of misdirection. Master of misdirection.
No, you can stop the accent.
Featuring our special episode is going to feature a very special guest indeed that you definitely don't want to miss. So that's in 2 weekends, Saturday, May 23rd. Even though our next special episode is in 2 weeks, we will still be streaming this coming Saturday, May 16th, with another community night. So stay tuned in our Discord server and social media pages for all of the details about our community stream, because it's sure to be something fun and silly and perhaps kind of educational, but certainly very chaotic. In the meantime, you can support our show by joining our Patreon, joining and participating in our Discord server, making fan works if you are so inspired, posting about our show on Blue Sky, Instagram, Tumblr, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, what have you, rating our podcast, buying merch from our merch store, from our husband, and most importantly, telling someone else about the channel, whether it is your friends, your family, your homoerotic enemy, your barista, your fellow survivor, your nose mama, your dog, your cat, your glass-tailed butterfly, your razor kite queen, or your Bobo.
Bobo did that perfect. Talk about understanding the assignment, Mr. Man. Tell your bow bow. Everyone tell your bow bow.
Yeah, tell your bow.
Everyone tell your bow bow. Tell your Juno. Tell your Watson and Rigby.
Parakeet. He says parakeet.
Leave it like paracat.
Paracat. Tell your paracat. Thank you so much, Transplaners. We will see you next Saturday, May 16th at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Twitch and YouTube Live for our community stream. But in the meantime, Bijou. We're going to be rating someone really awesome, so make sure to use the raid message in chat and pass the love along. Peace. Howdy, Transplaners. It is, once again, Sponsor Connie time. Arc 4 is proudly sponsored by Hero Forge, a website where you can design and print your very own custom miniatures. But you already knew that, didn't you? Because the spectacular Hero Forge has sponsored us every single arc so far. We've stuck together through all sorts of exciting updates, like Hero Forge Pro, statuettes, color-printed plastic, premium plastic, but now, it's time. It's time for one of the most exciting Hero Forge updates ever. Custom dice. Hero Forge is now offering 3D printed custom dice, where you can put literally anything into the clear material of the die. Each die is printed in the same layers as the item or character bust inside of it, resulting in a solid, perfectly weighted chunk of math rock. You decide the size, color, and shape of your die, the size and color of the numbers on top, and, of course, what the die contains.
Put a frog in it.
Don't die-lay. Visit bit.ly/transforge to design your very own custom miniature or custom dice today. Hello, Transplaners! You know what time it is. Sponsor Connie time. For Arc 4, we're collaborating with the Working Families Party, who are building a multiracial coalition of working class people to make our communities a better place to live for everyone. You might be thinking, why does a political party care about a queer tabletop show? As it turns out, the Working Families Party believes in the power of fandom to effect positive political change in the real world. So do we. As a Transplanerd, you're no stranger to just how political our show can be and how our stories are never just fiction. In fact, let's take an action together right now by signing a petition by the Working Families Party to break up big media companies. This cause means a lot to us personally, as indie actual play performers fighting censorship, telling authentic stories, and resisting authoritarianism. Go to bit.ly/WFPtrans and add your name to the list. By signing this petition, you will join the Working Families Party's mailing list and receive opportunities to help them organize, educate, and fundraise. So let's build a better future together.